Hello everyone. This is the first time I'm doing this outside. This is Althea Gray. I'm on my beautiful property here in Santa Fe. Excuse me. Santa Fe, New Mexico. So I'm going to give you a look around. I'm sitting in my beautiful kiva. And this kiva is a very, very sacred place. It was blessed by the Huichol grandmother many years ago, and she told me it was as sacred as the place she pilgrimaged to. So, and she told me to take good care of it. So, I do. So, at this time of year, Thanksgiving, I like to do a land blessing to thank the great spirits on this land for allowing me to share space with them and for taking care of me. But I also wanted to talk about professional clearing, of course. And one of the things that we like to do besides clearing a house of dark forces is also a house blessing. Now, more and more people are deciding to spend their last moments at home. And they take their last breath in their own home environment. Now, sometimes they're so attached to that environment, they may not move on. They're attached to the memories there, the comfort there, and they may not realize that there is another place for them to go that's filled with light, and they won't lose touch with their loved ones, nor their loved ones with them. So a house blessing is appropriate in such a situation, or even after a professional clearing. So let's look at some of the things that we do for a house blessing, or if you are a hospice worker and you would like to learn about house blessing and professional clearing, please contact me at support@altheagray.com and you will learn. But when you're doing a ceremony at home for someone who has passed, you want to make sure the house is clear, and you do a ceremony to help that loved one move into the higher light bardos. And this also is soothing for those who have lost their loved one. So you can set up in the house or in the room where they have passed, perhaps some beautiful flowers, and light a candle. Make sure I have a lot of interesting candle holders. I like to use white candles. And speak to that loved one. And tell them how much they've been appreciated in this life. And that it's time for them to move on. Move into the higher light bardos. So you can say prayers in your own words, which I prefer, or in the faith that you know or they know, and you ask the loved one to move on in a very kind and loving way. And you can have other loved ones around as you do this house blessing. So I like, again, use safe candle holders. This is a simple one. And I also like to use bells, believe it or not. I have here, I'm going to show you, my favorite temple bell. And this is to wake up the chi. And I go through the whole house clockwise, waking up the energy in the house. And I also have some smaller bells that I use afterwards as a blessing, as a clearing, as a gentle voice. And it sounds like fairies. And I have special containers that I keep them in, and I treat them as sacred objects. I hope you can hear me well. I've never done this before outside. And you've heard me talk a lot about sage. Well, I consider sage as a blessing plant, not necessarily one that you use to clear dark forces. I use it as a way to bless my environment. So when you use sage outside or anywhere, make sure you have some container to put that in so it doesn't burn the house down or the forest. Be really careful. And here's a nice lighter. And you can move the smoke around the house. If you have a fan, you can do that. And bless the space. So in my blog that's going to be coming out on Monday, I talk about a Chinese system of land blessing. And they use rice and other ingredients, and that'll be in the blog. So look for that. And today, what I do, every year, I go through my property and I use tobacco and I use cornmeal, because in our area of the United States, our native people use cornmeal. And there's so many beautiful native spirits that live on this land, and we coexist together, and I honor them. So I start with the cornmeal, and I put some in my hand. I'm going to stand up in a respectful way here. And I thank Father Sky, Mother Earth, and all the wonderful spirits on this land, and the guardian of the spirit of this land. I thank you for your love, your protection, and for allowing me the honor to live and coexist with you on this beautiful land. I offer you this cornmeal with love and appreciation. And you take the cornmeal and you throw it up in the air in a respectful way. And I use ceremonial tobacco. And this tobacco, it smells so amazing. And I take some tobacco and I say the same thing. I thank you, Father Sky, Mother Earth, and all the great spirits on this land, and the guardian spirit of this land. I thank you and honor you. I thank you for allowing me to share space with you on this sacred land. I thank you and I honor you, and I offer you this tobacco in appreciation. And then I throw the tobacco up in the air, and that's what you do. So once a year, I walk through my entire property, and about this time of year, and do my tobacco and cornmeal blessing. And this kiva is very, 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 very special. I'm very fortunate to have that here, and I try to take good care of it, as I have promised, to be a good steward also of this beautiful land. So home and business blessings, land blessings, are a very, very important part of professional clearing. So not only do you clear out, but you bring in all the sacred, beautiful energy to bless those who live in the house, bless the business to be prosperous for all concerned, to bless the land that you live on, to bless the home that you reside in. These are all very special things to do. We forget that sometimes in our life, that we also have to be mindful, center ourselves, and be in a state of grace and gratitude for having good health, good friends, to be healthy, wise. I'm grateful for all that I know and all that I've come here to share with all of you. So this is a short Facebook Live today. I can talk more about it at another time if you would like. And our professional clearers, of course, they are learning about this and different ways to actually use what they've learned. And so one of them is house blessings in real estate, and the other is hospice, which is a major thing right now. Most people are asking to die at home. So I'm happy to share all of this with you today. And here's another glimpse. When you enter Kiva, you enter from the east, and then you exit here from the west. I live on a very, very beautiful property, and I feel grateful that I get to live here. So have a beautiful Sunday. I hope this is recording just perfectly. I love you all. Until my next